We are Siouxland proud. This is KCAU 9 News at 10.
And good Friday evening. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Tim Seaman. Sioux City police are investigating an apparent shooting in the Morningside neighborhood this evening. A few details are being released at this time, but here's what we know in our top story tonight at 10. Police were called to the Whittier apartment building at 4th Avenue and South Cedar Street about an hour and a half ago. Some may know that building as the former Whittier Elementary School building. A tenant of that apartment tells KCAU-9 that he was out walking his dog around 8:30 when he heard a single pop sounding like a firecracker, but later learned that it was the sound of a gunshot. He said he saw one person transported to a local hospital with an apparent gunshot wound. That person's condition is not known. Crime scene investigators could be seen taking measurements and photos, but a short time ago, police left the scene. They say there is no threat to the public tonight. Watch for updated information online at SiouxlandProud.com and here on KCAU 9 News coming up on Saturday. Elsewhere, a report from the National Transportation Safety Board is revealing new details on the communication just before that passenger jet and military helicopter crashed midair last month. All 67 people aboard those two aircraft died. Investigators today say that the three-person crew on the Army helicopter may have had inaccurate altitude readings just moments before the crash. The NTSB revealing that the pilot flying indicated that the helicopter was at 300 feet, while the instructor pilot said that they were at 400 feet. Officials say both pilots did not make a comment about the altitude discrepancy. Another thing the investigation is revealing is that the crew may not have heard key instructions from air traffic controllers to move behind that passenger jet, due to the pilots trying to speak to air traffic control at the same time as the controller was speaking to them, stepping on the audio of the crucial warning. Closer to home tonight, city workers in the town of Mapleton, Iowa, have been hard at work all day trying to fix a water main that started leaking earlier this week, causing the town to lose thousands of gallons of water. KCAU-9 reporter Tyler Euchner spoke with the mayor of Mapleton about how the issue is being handled and whether it will affect residents' drinking water.
Thanks, Tim. Thursday night, Mapleton officials were notified of a water main leak on 6th and Willow Street. And today, workers continue to tackle the issue.
Once notified, city officials got to work Thursday morning to dig down to the damaged pipe.
Unfortunately, when we got to this particular pipe, it was a 4-inch main we're very used to seeing. It already had 4 patches on it. So the problem we had is we couldn't put any more patches in that area. So we knew we had to get on and actually start replacing the entire water main there.
According to Mayor Streck, the city was losing 100,000 gallons of water a day with that leak. Their water tower only holds 575,000 gallons. While city workers can handle the leak, to replace a water main requires a contractor, which the city was struggling to get.
This time of year, every contractor is very busy on fixing, because I'm sure every city is going through the same problem right now with water main breaks. So it's very limited of the contractors that have the time to come and do these. We actually found somebody who's a non-contractor who can come in and help us with this one, which has been an absolute blessing.
While the city continues to work on the water main, Streck says these repairs won't impact residents' water use.
Obviously, there's some diminished water pressures, but we've been able to keep the water on to this point. What they're going to do is put some instant valves in, so they should be able to do those live, so there is no issue with having to shut anybody off. The great thing about that is we don't actually shut down pressure. We don't have to do boil advisories and everything else.
Streck not only thanks Mapleton city workers for their continued efforts, but also the city of Lamar's for sending a few workers to help.
All the city guys go to the same meetings and they talk and they're like, hey, if you ever need help, give us a call. So the city of Lamar's was gracious enough. They had the valves we needed in stock. They had the tools to be able to do it. And we called them this morning and said, help please. And they sent a crew right down. So we're going to owe them a huge favor. Hats off to the crews up in Lamar's who jumped on it, jumped in their trucks, and they're down here right now getting our water shut off.
The mayor told me to replace the pipe could take a week or more to get and install. In Mapleton, Iowa, Tyler Euchner, KCAU 9 News.
Well, 2 people have thrown their hats into the ring to be the next district court judge in Nebraska's 7th Judicial District. Matthew Headley and Michael Long, both from Norfolk, have submitted applications. A public hearing is now set for March 14th at 10 in the morning at the Madison County Courthouse. That hearing will be held in courtroom number 1. The state's Judicial Nominating Commission will interview the applicants along with hearing oral public testimony and reading written public testimony. The vacancy is due to Judge Mark Johnson's retirement. Now, the 7th Judicial District has 7 northeast Nebraska counties, including Knox. The Sioux City Public Library is introducing a new reading event for little ones coming up this year. For the 3rd Saturday of each month, the library will host Story Time in Espanol, a Spanish story time for children who are immersed in the Spanish native language and want to learn more. The library will also be hosting a baby story time for babies up to 12 months of age. That'll be with their caregivers. The literary experience will help babies engage and learn with rhymes, songs, as well as books. That event's set to take place the 2nd and 4th Saturdays of each month. Well, Parker Kligerman picked up the Craftsman Truck Series Fresh from Florida 250 race tonight at Daytona International Speedway. Race week continues tomorrow with the Xfinity Series drivers taking the track. Reporter Joey Ellis has a preview of the United Rentals 300.
Thursday night, we saw 2 thrilling duels here set the starting lineup for Sunday's race. But as for now here in Daytona, the focus now shifts to the Xfinity Series. Of course, Justin Allgaier comes into the weekend, the defending champion in that series, but he'll be pulling double duty this weekend as he's set to make his 3rd career Cup Series start here in Daytona, while also at the same time trying to defend his Xfinity Series crown come Saturday.
Starting the campaign for, going back again for the Xfinity Series Championship and what that looks like. And oh, by the way, that race is in the middle of all of this, that we're going through. And so, I think, for me, I've been super lucky to have, a great team behind me. And in not only our 7 team, but everybody at Junior Motorsports. Our Brandt Chevy is alive and well and ready to go. We've put a lot of effort and time into that car. So I have to really do a good job of separating the two, making sure that I hit my marks in both series and both cars and doing all the right things. If we do that, it's going to be a great weekend.
But no driver in the Xfinity Series has had better success here of late than Austin Hill. The number 21 driver for RCR has won here at his 2nd home in Daytona 3 straight years to open up the season. And fresh off his first Championship 4 appearance, comes into Saturday with plenty of momentum to defend his crown.
Always a fun event to come to. Obviously, we've had some success here to start the season, and it's always nice to check that box off right away and know that you've won a race and you're locked into the playoffs. We've been able to do that in the last 3 years, so hopefully we can do it again with our 21 team. Everybody at RCR, ECR has been working extremely hard. Our entire 21 team has been really hard at it in the offseason, trying to just get a little bit better with certain things that we need to touch up on, and I feel really good about the 25 season.
We'll see a talented rookie class take the track Saturday, including the hometown kid Daniel Dye, set to start full-time now for Colleague Racing. Hoping to kick off his season with a bang at a place that means plenty to him.
Growing up going to races here my whole life has been really cool, and a couple of years ago got to get on the track for the first time in the ARCA Series and kind of just been climbing the ladder since. So always good to start in Daytona Beach, get a home field advantage I come home a little bit early and spend time with the family and stuff like that. So always good.
Certainly plenty of intriguing storylines to watch from this Xfinity Series all season long. And of course, the racing gets going Saturday evening to kick off the season. And you can watch the race on the CW network. In Daytona, I'm Joey Ellis.
And as Joey just mentioned, that race is tomorrow at 4. The pre-race show, NASCAR Countdown Live, is set to begin at 3 o'clock. Both of those will air on the CW. And by the way, Sunday's race from Daytona has been moved up by an hour now because of impending bad weather later in the day there in Florida. So an hour earlier start on Sunday. Our weather's not the Florida type right now.
I was about to say it's not, but we have bad weather coming our way also. It's going to be a little bit powdery instead of wet, as we'll be seeing that right now. We're seeing that the Ho-Chunk Center camera shows conditions that have still been quiet, not clear. We've had overcast skies throughout the daytime, as we see that currently the Ho-Chunk Center shows overcast skies still as we take a look out downtown, with temperatures currently reported at 30 degrees, so staying warm and insulated. We'll see feels like of 27 thanks to calmer winds now out from the northeast at 3 miles per hour. We've slowly seen those winds shift from the southeast and east now from the northeast, with temperatures all across Siouxland actually staying pretty warm. 31 in Norfolk, 25 in Yankton, 24 in Sioux Falls, and even up north in Esterville, where we were cooling at 23 degrees, and they'll be feeling a little bit warmer as well, as winds are pretty much under 10 miles per hour all across the region. Bloomfield a little bit breezier though at 14, as we see that most of the area has wind chills dropping down to the 20s and the teens. Esterville, earlier was 10 degrees though, so they've warmed up actually a little bit with breezes calming, but you'll see the cold air is on its way as we see that South Dakota shows shades of white and purple out there as they're going to be cooling off, and we're going to see that cooler air moving in through Saturday and Sunday as we see the looping radar here showing a few snow showers that were affecting parts of eastern Siouxland, and we start to see the snow incoming out by Knox and, that would be Antelope and portions of Madison County as well, as we'll be seeing that those snow showers will be creeping in from the southwest or the northeast as we see road conditions that have been clear for most of the viewing area, but we'll see them deteriorating through the evening hours as we see the snow showers begin to develop with a little bit of trace freezing mixture appearing over by North Platte that's beginning to transition as temperatures cool off. Now the snow flurries that we had earlier in eastern Siouxland have since moved off and made their way to the Great Lakes. My mom was actually telling me that out in Chicago conditions have been very bad out on the roads, and we'll be seeing some similar road conditions going forward as we see these snow showers cutting from the southwestern through eastern portions of the viewing area, staying close to the Highway 20 corridor, and then you'll see that that's where we're seeing some of our heaviest snowfall out to our southeast of it as well. You'll see that that's where the gradient will be highest, so we're keeping an eye on that as a shift of a few miles could push that, and we see that by tomorrow early afternoon. Those snow showers are out of the forecast region with clouds still lingering in the region as a few snow showers trying to form through the late evening hours out to our north, but this will be much lighter snowfall compared to what we're seeing at first. Here we see that snow increasing across the viewing area, and we're keeping an eye on this gradient that cuts by Takema in between Ida Grove and that would be Denizen is where we have it situated currently, as if we move it a few miles further north, we'll start to see higher totals of 5 inches by Ida Grove and Mapleton as well, and we'll start to see increasing snow totals here in Sioux City, as right now we've seen it decrease now at a ½ inch with northern Siouxland north of Lamar's and Cherokee seeing less than a 1/10 of an inch, as conditions then show a little bit of clearing as high pressure moves across the high plains into the central plains for a clearer day on Sunday, but that just means that we're going to be seeing cooler start of the day temperatures. Tonight, temperatures dropping down to the teens only, so staying pretty warm. We're actually going to have temperatures dropping throughout the evening hours as a winter weather advisory has already been in effect and will be in effect until tomorrow at 3 in the afternoon for much of Siouxland. Temperatures down to the 20s tomorrow. We actually only decrease throughout the daytime as we see the temps are going to be in the 20s, then feels like below zero and below zero as we see daytime highs struggling to be above the 0 degrees and then falling under even for a few days there on Tuesday and Wednesday. Overnight lows dropping into the 10s and almost 20s below. So Tim, those feels like temperatures will be all the way down to 30 and even 40 below. So keep an eye out for extreme cold warnings and probably some late starts for schools as well.